if the Bible says that we're sinful and we had to die of the old man. So what is toxic? If sin
Yeah.
is death, then what is toxic? And I think toxic is when it damages our physical and mental health, and eventually it bleeds out through our spiritual life, and it bleeds out to,
Hmm.
basically every single area, and is not healthy. It's not life-giving. It's no longer a joy. So, and we're going to talk about exactly what are those things. I don't want to talk about every single thing, but
Yeah.
toxicity is
I,
is what really damages
right.
everything.
And I think that's important, Omar. That point of like, we want to bring these things up, but I mean,
Mm.
you guys, for those of you who are watching, you guys really need to ask yourself these
Yeah.
things. If you guys leave at the end of the stream today, if you guys leave the end of this video today, and you guys are just wondering if you have people like that in your life that are like that, you didn't get anything. Like then it was just a waste of time. Like, this is for you to apply to your own life, to look at your own self, your own habits, your own character, how you handle situations. It's for you to apply in yourself, because really that's, I mean, I know, like, and that's why I said there's a lot of things that I have to unlearn still in my life, in my leadership, in my, like, the way that I deal with people, with my family, with, my kids. Like, there are things that I have to unlearn still. So I
Yeah.
think it's an important thing, Omar. I'm so glad that you said it to start, is that, hey, we need to ask ourselves, we need to look at ourselves first here. So I think that's perfect. So yeah, Omar, so let's go through these 7 signs of toxicity, and if you can just give us here, let's see, the first one.
Yeah, leaders who are never satisfied. I think this is one that uh, where really it just comes off as passive aggressiveness.
Mm,
Where leaders who are never satisfied are, it's another word for basically over perfectionists. Those that really want to do it all great, and something happens, something didn't turn off the way they wanted to, and
right,
that
right.
little small thing eventually just washes everything else that was good.
Mm,
Leaders who are unhappy with what they do,
mm,
and they're happy that they are unhappy. Yeah, so leaders who don't celebrate others, I think those are the
mm.
ones. And to be honest, those are the things that I've been seeing lately in the last 5 years, where if any leader succeeds, it's hard for someone else to celebrate. Yeah, I think leaders who don't collaborate with others. Now, this is the opposite. Not
Mm,
the opposite, but the other coin of don't celebrate. You don't
right,
celebrate, then most likely you don't collaborate.
right.
And really that has a lot to do with people who just want to be not only lone rangers, but you think you don't need anyone else. No one can
Mm,
sharpen you. No one can give stuff to you. No, maybe you would like to give to someone else, but really if you're not willing for someone to sharpen you, to someone to help you, criticize you, keep you accountable,
mhm.
if you're pouring in but no one's pouring into you back,
Yeah,
that eventually that just leaves toxicity to a point
toxicity.
where you don't want to deal with anyone else.
Right,
And I think churches is all about collaboration or praying for each other. The spirit of the body. Yeah.
right.
Leaders who criticize with no good intentions. I believe criticism, constructive criticism, and healthy constructive criticism is good. It's part of our leadership. The only thing is that when you're that someone where you just want to criticize, hey, that person didn't do good. Hey, come, I want to tell you something. But
Yeah,
when it comes to the point where you just want to tell them what they did wrong,
right.
that's like you have nothing else to say. You don't celebrate them, you don't help them. In fact, you criticize them, but you didn't say, how can I help you? Hey,
Right.
I know
Yeah.
I know a better resource that I can help you be better. But no,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, I didn't like it, it was whack, you're lame. And you can criticize, and you have a list. In fact, when it's unhealthy, when your list of criticism is bigger than your list of celebrations and
Mm,
prayer.
come on. Yeah.
You just know. Leaders that complain with no end in sight, and this has very similar to the first one, where people are not satisfied,
Yeah.
and even to the one that we just read about. You're always criticizing, but this one, I wish we could have been a little bit more clear. But this one is more for the people who, not only are they pessimistics, not only are they negative, but everything is wrong. You're an emotional wreck. That's really what it is. When you're just complaining with no end in sight, you're just emotional wreck. You don't know how to control your words. You don't know how to breathe life. And eventually you'll know. You know how you'll know? When people don't want to be with you. When people don't want to deal with you. When
Right.
people, and in fact, if people are no longer listening to what you have to say, and they just like, that's because something's wrong with what you're saying. It's not you, it's what's coming out of your mouth. And what's coming out of your mouth is because something's wrong in your heart. Leaders who compare with others. I do believe, in a sense, comparison is good, or ambition, because you saw someone have it. Like, oh, I want to do that. I want to be that. I want to sing that song that person sang. Or I want to preach the way how that person preached. The only thing is that leaders who compare with others, it comes to the point where when you see someone and you just want to be them, you no longer want to be yourself. Also, you also look to the point where you just want to fake it until you make it type of vibe. Because toxicity isn't always has to do with what you do to others. It's also what you do with yourself. And then you blame others because of what you just did to yourself. I think Psalms has a lot to do with comparison. The psalmist is saying, how come they win? How come they're doing it? And I'm here stuck. I've been in ministry more than them. Why are they winning? Why are they succeeding? Why did my pastor choose him? I am here every day, and the spirit of competition, the spirit of comparison turns into competition, and the competition turns into war. Leaders who don't respect leadership, our pastors, our bishops, our overseers, anyone, senior pastor, even in your work, even in your own secular job, when you don't respect them, eventually that bleeds out. And then not just the ones who are above you, but the ones that are below you, or the ones that are next to you. How do you respect them? How do you respect their time? How do you respect their privacy? How do you respect what they share, or what you share with them? And and really that has a lot to do with not just obedience, but submission.